Hello, welcome. You're watching Chris on Real Talk on Star Wars Day, which is the May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. So, if you're watching me today, you'll probably see on the title it says attempt number 2. And it is attempt number 2. We're going to try again. Francis, good morning. JBM, good morning. I'm going to try again. I'm currently live on Zoom. Straight to you, YouTube. Come on, I'm looking for a flat earther. I have been speaking to directly with a couple of flat earthers recently. They said they're quite willing to come on. So I said to them, look, you can get me on Twitter, go to my channel, keep an eye out for when you get a notification. I'm waiting for you. If you believe the earth is flat, then come and join me. I'll give you the details. I have Twitter open right here. I will get you on. Explain Zoom. I don't understand how to use it. Zoom is basically a video calling platform for various different types of operating system, whether it's Android, Apple, Windows, what have you. And it's a video conferencing. So, it's really, really good. You can share all kinds of different things on the screen with it and get multiple people on at once, usually lossless, unless you're trying to stream video directly to them through Zoom. But there you go. I mean, I pay for a service on my Zoom because I use it for more than just this. But there we go. So if you believe the Earth is flat, if you are a flat earther, come and talk to this glober, or as you like to call us, globetard. I'm here. I'm ready for you. I want to find out why you believe what you believe. I've put a notification at the top here, a scrolling text, basically asking people to be respectable. How to blur out the background. That is an option on Zoom. So if you do use Zoom and you've got the latest version and your computer is capable of doing it, because not all are capable of doing it, you find the video icon at the bottom left hand corner. You click video options, which is the tab, the arrow that points up, and then you click on choose virtual background, and then from virtual background you can have this one, you can have this one, you can have this one. Oh, I might this could be quite interesting actually. I might leave this on today. You can have this one, or if you're me, look at that handsome devil. But no, we're going to leave this today. I think this is quite fitting. Yes, I like that. I like that. So we're going to leave it on that. UFOs apparently have been seen. The thing with UFOs is unidentified flying object doesn't necessarily mean alien. That's the thing with UFOs, is they can be from absolutely anywhere, but because it can't be identified, it's classed as a unidentified flying object. Shouldn't that one be flat? Yeah, no, this is me. I'm a glober, you see. I'm one of those weird globetards. I believe the Earth is a sphere, which is what it is. But if you believe the Earth is flat, you're more than welcome to come and join me. What you think about UFOs? I've got a bit of a weird thing when it comes to UFOs. I've actually seen things in the sky that I can't explain. When I was 16 and about 6 years ago. So there's no way on earth the things that I saw were planes or any technology that I could understand what it was or anything that I'd seen. But a lot of it can be man-made. We just don't know where it's from or what it is. So the fact that it's unidentified just means we don't know what it is or where it came from. So in regards to alien life, if that's what you're on about, then I do believe that we are not alone in the universe. It just makes perfect sense that out of all the billions and billions of planets and around the billions of stars there are in the universe, that we're not alone. It just makes sense. We can't be the only type of life out there. Scientists seem to think that they can't find life because they're looking for life as we know it. Well, maybe there's a lot of life that exists that isn't as we know it, like organisms that may breathe nitrogen, for example, or hydrogen. as their supporting gas. We breathe a mixture of nitrogen, oxygen, and all these different other things. Richard, good morning. Thanks everyone for joining me. This is attempt number 2. I am waiting diligently for someone to comment, DM me on Twitter if you believe the Earth is flat, because I can get you on this call right now. We are on Zoom this morning, so if you believe the Earth is flat, you can get me on Real Talk Vlogger, direct message me. I will I will give you the Zoom details and I will admit you into this call, and we can have a talk about why you believe the Earth is flat. I'm here to be respectful. I'm here to understand. Not necessarily here to be educated, because nothing you say will change my mind about the Earth being a globe. But I want to understand what makes you believe what you believe. And I want to do this in a respectful way. Like I said, the last video, I have actually joined a Flat Earth group on Facebook. And at first, I have to admit it, I'm going to hold my hands up. I was a bit of a dick. I was a little bit of a troll. I didn't say a lot of nice things. It's just I found it entertaining, but equally it does go the other way. A lot of flat earthers, they do troll just for trolling's sake. But I thought to myself, that's not the best way to be. If that was me and someone was mocking what I believed, I'd be quite upset. So I've taken a step back. I still do comment a lot on this flat earth page on Facebook, but I'm being a lot more respectful. I did actually put an apology out on that group as well, saying, look, I know a lot of you have read a lot of my comments, and I am sorry if I've offended you. I do believe the Earth is a sphere, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, I don't want to be seen as an a-hole. Basically, I don't want to be a dick. If I don't agree with what you're saying, I will let you know. As everyone knows, I tend to be as real as it is when it comes to me saying my opinion. But being nasty with it, I think it's not a great idea. So in the comments section, we're all entitled to our own opinion, our own beliefs, whether we like it or not, basically. So please, if we do get someone on who believes the Earth is flat, which is highly unlikely, but if we do, please show some respect in the comments section. If you have a question, I will relay it on to the person who joins me. However, if you have had any dealings with someone who believes the Earth is flat, and you want to talk to me about the person who you've met or spoke to, I might be willing to get you back on. You back at work now, Chris, says Soft16. No, however, I have now got definitive dates for when I do get back to work, and I personally cannot wait. I'm going back to work on the 27th and the 28th to the training school of this month, to catch up on whatever I need to catch up on training wise, and then I should be back on the Monday or the Tuesday, depending if it's a bank holiday or not, with a mentor. And that mentor is going to type train me on buses again. Bearing in mind, I only drive one type of bus, but 2 or 3 types of buses I've got to try and familiarise myself with, which isn't going to be a problem. And then I have to reroute learn my route, which I've driven for 10 years plus. But just as it's all formalities, basically. Aliens are real. Do you believe so? Yes, I believe aliens are real. They have to be. Anything that isn't of this earth has to be alien. And I believe there is alien life out there. So there you go. The new route master, originally referred to as Boris Bus for London, is a low floor diesel double decker bus. Sadly, TfL has confirmed it will take them off the road by 2023-2024. Now, that is news to me. It is a low-level double-decker bus. It is also a hybrid, I like to call a Type 2 hybrid vehicle, where it has got a battery drive system, an electric drivetrain, but it also has a diesel generator at the back. The generator at the back, or the engine, if you will, is an American brand, a Cummins engine. And you can take them or leave them. Sometimes it's good, sometimes they're bad. Sometimes they puff out a load of smoke because they go into regen mode. Those buses have single-handedly lost a lot of money for TfL. But again, Sadiq Khan had the opportunity to take those buses off the road and replace them with standard buses. And, he decided to cut a load of revenue inspectors, but that is what it is. That is true. They're going. I did not know that, but then again, that's in 2 to 3 years from now. And again, what you need to remember is those buses could be retrofitted to be fully electric because that engine bay where the generator is could be adapted to hold a lot more batteries and also could be converted to have a charging dock there as well. So those buses, don't rule them out. It may well be more beneficial and cheaper for TfL to convert those buses to full electric as opposed to having a diesel generator. So watch your space. I don't know. I mean, if I was running for Mayor of London, it would be something I would consider as a cheaper alternative to getting full electric buses across the board. If converting buses to an electric drivetrain is cheaper. Some of them had back door replaced, apparently. Yes, they did. Basically, what it is that rear door wasn't so much replaced, is it was locked. There is a way of disabling that door completely, and some of them have been fully replaced with just a glass sheet. But equally, some of them haven't. So what happened when I was driving last is they did actually retrofit those buses so that when you push the open door button, not all the doors opened at once. It would be the rear doors first to let people off, then close the rear doors, then open the front doors to let people on, which is actually standard procedure on any bus with a two-door system. Obviously, if you're driving a bus with a single-door system, a lot of people have to take their own common sense into that and let people off before getting on. But on most dual access buses, you need to open the rear doors first to allow people off, then close the rear door, then open the front door to let people on. The only exception to that really is you close the rear doors after you let people off, then you extend the ramp to let people on with a wheelchair if they need it. Let those people on first before the front doors, make sure they're secure, close the rear door again, retract the ramp, open the front door, let everyone... Copy time. Let people on. But there we go. Let me have a look at Twitter. No one on Twitter so far. So come on. If you believe the earth is flat, please come and contact me. This is the second time I am doing this. I'm so intrigued by flat earth. And for those of you who think I haven't been following this for a while, I've been following flat earth for a long time, actually. It's something that intrigues me beyond belief. I mean, out of all the conspiracies out there, flat earth has got to be one of my favorite conspiracies. I don't believe it for 1 second, but for me it's 100% entertaining, and I really want to find someone who believes the earth is flat to come and talk to me about it. So look, my beard's become bushy over the last week. I'm actually growing this and doing a video currently. I'm taking a picture every day, and I'm going to do a time-lapse video of beard growth. Yes, life has got that boring, but that is what's happening. I saw a normal bus on your route and a three-door bus. Yeah, the three-door buses are the ones that we have, the Boris buses. We do have normal buses on the route from time to time, depending on whether they've got buses in for and out for servicing. TA1, the triaxle bus, I believe, has been off the road for quite a while now. I hate that bus with a passion. Why does London not really have one-door buses? You see a few. So you don't really have single-door buses in London purely for the weight of people that are in London. You normally find single-access doors or single-access buses in places where the population is a lot less, basically. Fewer people, less congestion. So obviously you need buses where you have more than one door to allow people off, then allow people on. It depends on the area, basically. In London, that wouldn't work. It would just cause too many problems. I could send you the phone number for Broadmoor. Might find some there. No, that's okay. Does your company still have only one bus stop at the depot with one door? I don't think we ever had a bus at my depot with one door. I don't think so. Um, if the world is flat, why are we living on the side? Well, hang on a sec. I ain't got my glasses. If the world is flat and we are living on the one side, so what's on the other side then? This is a question, Roy. I love that question because I've actually asked a few flat earthers this question myself and they don't know. Some say it's just rock that just comes to a point. Others believe we are actually in a Terry Pratchett book and there is a turtle underneath it. Yes, I don't understand why. I see old London buses up north. Yeah, you do. The thing is with buses is buses from London, they do get recycled a lot. London buses do get recycled an awful lot, and they do get used elsewhere. Um, that's yeah, I want to know that as well. I want to know what's on the other side of a flat Earth as well. I just don't see it personally. Anton's video, it's on this channel. Okay, I haven't actually seen or heard from Anton for quite a while. I know he's still alive, but I just haven't spoke to him for a long time. I think he's distanced himself from me for some reason. I will have to give him a ring at some point. I think London buses are short of buses due to demand for school buses. Not really. I mean, the what's happening with school buses is on depending on the route, they've got every other bus alternating. One is a school bus, one is a non-school service bus, and that only runs for a set amount of time. However, you can't really turn people away. So if you have to take people on that's a non-school bus or school bus, it makes no difference to me. Personally, I think there should be no standing on buses during the pandemic and slightly beyond. So once you've got a seat and your seat is a socially distanced seat, then maybe two or three people standing at the most. But I definitely don't believe in reducing the bus service. I've said this many times. I believe that, I mean, a lot of people want to get around. I do believe in social distancing, but I don't believe in reducing bus services because to me that just encourages people to get packed onto a single bus if you do go out. So maintain the service as standard as possible, TFL. That way, there is a service for people to get on and will promote social distancing because they don't have to wait God knows how long for a bus to be then crammed on that bus with other people. It's just a no-brainer. Um, you're not allowed on non-school buses if you're a school child. Actually, I think you'll find that because you're a school child, you are allowed on non-school buses. They're not allowed to turn you away. Um, a lot of bus drivers would argue that, but that you're not allowed to be turned away. At the end of the day, one is you're a child, two you're going to and from school, and they're not allowed to they're not allowed to turn you away. That is the rules. Because you're classed as someone who is vulnerable. A child is classed as someone who is vulnerable. So if you're going to and from school, I've got no problem with taking you on the bus, whether it's a school service or not. That's just me, but some drivers can be quite difficult with that. Who's going to stop them? The kids? Exactly. It's what makes me laugh. So let me update you, Chris. Apparently, if you stand up, you will get a fine, as apparently you need to sit down. Again, I wouldn't know. I've not been on a bus for over a year. I haven't been on a bus for over a year. I do know that seats are still socially distanced. And if you can stand on the bus safely, you can do that. I mean, I've actually been on I've not driven a bus for over a year. I was actually on a bus the other day coming home from Penge. And I had to stand on that bus because there was nowhere to sit. Now, surely the driver would have told me, sorry, there's nowhere to sit. You can't stand up. I stood in the wheelchair bay. I didn't touch anything because I've got an amazing sense of balance. and that was that. But there we go. But it says They're only on school buses. They have notes. Again, I'm not going to turn away someone going to and from school. To me, that is a pointless exercise. Bus companies just don't want the bus delayed. No, they don't. To be honest with you, no one wants a delayed bus. The drivers don't want a delayed bus because we get nothing but hassle from the controllers. But equally, you don't want the delay because you want to get to and from school. You want to get to and from work. TfL don't want the delay because that means there's just a breakup in the service, and it all becomes one massive, massive mess when there's delays. Um, what do if someone becomes ill on your bus? Well, I can actually tell you exactly what happens if someone is taken ill on the bus, depending on what they're taken ill with. I've had people vomit on my bus before, and in what happens in that case is I open the doors at a bus stop safely. I let people know kindly and politely that unfortunately we have got a member of, not a member of the public, but a passenger or a customer that has taken ill. If they wish to transfer onto another bus, that would be very much appreciated. I'll give everyone a transfer ticket. And then that person can go about their business unless they need an ambulance. And then I will call an ambulance if they need it. Once they're off the bus, I then call the garage on a code green or band 3. And I'll let them know that someone's vomited on the bus. I'll then go to the nearest turnaround point, go back to the garage, get the bus cleaned out, and then call the control room again because it's in a separate location. Tell them that I'm good to go, and they'll give me a curtailment or tell me where to continue from. Then I can go on my merry way. Usually, the whole process from someone being sick to getting cleaned up to going back on the road again, depending on staffing, is around about 30 to 45 minutes. And again, this can't be helped. It is what it is. Smoke Nando's, what's going on? Hope you're well. Has anyone ever peed on your bus? Yes. It's happened. I mean, someone's actually crapped on my bus before. This is going back about 8 or 9 years ago. I was going from Camberwell up to Peckham, and I could smell crap. And I thought, someone may have farted, whatever. And then the thing is, it was late at night. You know, it's dark outside. Haven't had many passengers on the bus at that time of night. And I got to Dulwich, and the one woman that was sitting at the bottom in the dead centre, the one woman that was sitting there, she'd actually shit on the back seat. So that was fun. Yeah. God knows what she ate. I don't know. Sam Stephen, good morning. Hope you're well. Morning from an Iceland store staff room. Good morning, Sam Stephen. By the way, I do like Iceland's. There's a lot of good stuff in Iceland. So if you can tell me any good deals in Iceland currently that people should be aware of, drop a comment there in the comment section down below, or pop up there. You know, just share the love for Iceland. I like a bit of Iceland personally, especially ice creams. Iceland's good for ice creams. There we go. So Smoke Nando's, yes, someone has peed on my bus, and yes, someone has shat on my bus as well. But this is not what we're here for. Today we are here because I am looking specifically for someone who believes the earth is flat. I've put a notice up here. Please be respectful in the comment section. So if I do have someone who believes the earth is flat, please show some respect because it is what they believe. And obviously, we have to show some respect to people if they believe something. Whether it's right or wrong is irrelevant. As long as we can start showing other people respect while they explain to us why they believe what they believe, that would be amazing. Let's go back onto Twitter, see if anyone's DM'd me. No, no one's DM'd me. Equally, if you are someone who has had the idea that the earth might be flat, I want to know what that idea was. If you have come into contact with someone who believes the earth is flat and you've had a massive argument with them, please let me know your experience. I am dying to know. Greg's from Iceland. JBM, you get a round of applause. Greg's from Iceland is banging. I tell you why Greg's from Iceland is banging, because you can actually leave it in just that little bit longer. See, Greg's, they have to take it out when the timer goes off. Sometimes you might think, I want the pastry just a little bit more crispy. Nah, nah, nah. You cook it at home, it's all good. Smoke Nando says the Earth is a cuboid. I was actually thinking and had this conversation with a friend of mine called Chris a couple of years ago. We was actually saying, imagine if the Earth was actually a pyramid. I mean, you've got flat earthers, you've got, what I would say normal people, globers, sphere earthers, ball earthers, or ballers they call us, right? Imagine if it was a donut shape. Imagine if it was a cuboid. Imagine if it was a triangle. We just never perceive it because we're so small. Just imagine that. That'd be hilarious. I have a look around as I've just finished my shift. Sam, Stephen, if you can find a good deal, and I mean a really good deal, let someone know in the comment section down below. Let them know where your store is, and then they can come to your store, grab a good deal. How about that? That sounds good to me. I don't do this. I don't get paid for this. I'm not sponsored. I'm not monetized. I can say what the hell I like. That's okay. But yeah, I really, 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 really invisible tea, invisible coffee. Ah, is the International Space Station real? Yes, the International Space Station is real. It is extremely large and was built over a very long time in different sections. And I personally would love to go to the International Space Station. And this is an argument that flat earthers have. They seem to think that the International Space Station is impossible. It's not. It is 250 miles up. It is still in quite possibly the thinnest layer of the Earth's atmosphere, traveling at over 17,000 miles per hour. And the reason why you don't feel that speed when you're up there is one, because you're moving at the same speed as it, so everything is all relative, and also because the atmosphere is basically zero, there is like trace amounts of atmosphere up there. Um, you're not feeling that resistance from wind basically. And also the reason why an object goes into orbit is because it moves so fast. Essentially, you are falling. That's what orbit is. You're essentially falling to Earth, but because you're moving so fast, you're missing the Earth every single time, which is why you end up going around something as opposed to crashing down into it. Because you're moving so fast, you're actually missing it constantly. That's what an orbit actually is. It's a controlled fall basically that never ever actually hits the Earth. When you're back at work, Chris, at the end of the month, Smoke, I am back at work at the end of the month, and I was saying before, I actually can't wait to get back to work so I can actually earn some money. I can earn some money. I can see my wonderful peoples, my colleagues, my customers. I can start driving a bus again. I can start seeing different parts of London. I cannot wait. It is going to be amazing. Sam Stevens says there's almost always some reduced stuff because it's out of season. There's peri peri chicken, Pringles out at the moment for £1.50. So there you go. You've heard it from Sam Stevens. If you like peri peri Pringles, they are £1.50 down at Iceland. Go and grab yourself a tube because once you pop, you can't stop. That also rings quite true. If you like peri peri, then I think Smoked Nando's has got something to do with peri peri. Maybe Nando's thing. Don't know what part of the world you're in, but there you go. Maybe we all live in a reality like the Truman Show. And again, this is what I said to our flat earther the other day. I said, if you believe the Earth is flat and we live on a space pizza going through space at some ridiculous speed to generate gravity, is what you say, flat earthers, and you believe that there is a dome over the top, then surely it's the Truman Show. But and apparently Siri was talking to me, but there we go. But flat earthers, the logic I don't understand, because with a flat earther, they'll say that there is a dome over the top of the Earth called the firmament, right? And they believe this to be something like 70 miles up. And apparently we can never go past that. Okay. They also seem to believe that the Earth and the Moon are within the firmament and are, they said, and this is their words, the sun is a 30 miles across and is 3,000 miles away, which is which is what makes it look the size as it is. However, it's within the firmament, and the firmament is only 70 miles up, which makes no sense. So they've debunked themselves there. Also, if it was within the firmament and was that big, that means that it would have to be 30 odd miles away from us. It would be humongous in the sky, and we'd all be burnt to a crisp and die in a fiery ball of death. Again, that debunks flat earthers. And also, for the size of the earth, if the earth was flat, for the dome to be only 70 miles across, 70 miles up, you wouldn't actually see a dome. You would actually see a glass sheet, because for how the diameter of the earth, okay, from left to right, if you was to have a 70-mile high dome, it would be like that high on something this wide. So it would literally be a glass glass plate earth. So someone explain to me, if you believe the earth is flat, where your logic is, because I've literally in the last 2 minutes debunked you. Please explain to me why you believe what you believe. I will listen to you. I'll give you a fair crack of the whip. I'm not here to ridicule. I'm not here to put you down. I'm here to understand why you believe what you believe. And I want to understand, what was the turning point for you? What was that one bit of evidence you had, or that you saw, that made you think the earth is flat? What turned you? Huh? What made you turn? Have you ever been on a loan to another garage, Chris? No, I've never been on a loan to another garage. I was originally supposed to be at Stockwell Bus Garage, funnily enough. And when we had the routes at the time, which was the 345 and the 355, I was actually asked to stay at Camberwell to drive those buses. So technically, I'm on a permanent loan. But it makes no difference now, because I'm actually at Camberwell and I do drive the Route 12, and I genuinely can't wait to get back to work, see my friends, see my colleagues, see my customers, see the passengers, just get back to it. It is actually, as much as I bitched about it in the past, a really rewarding job. I cannot wait. Oh, look, Sam Stevens on it. There's a load of Swizzle and Barrett sweets which have been made into ice lollies for £1.50 a box. I've actually got some of those in the freezer. Can't wait to have some of those when I'm not dieting anymore. Like cola bottles, squashes and blackjacks. Yes, they are good. Greg's cheese and onion bakes and sausage and bean melts are half price. Go and get your Greg's. Go and get your Greg's. If you're not working today, or if you've got time to go to an Iceland's, go and get some Greg's. Greg's is life. I had a Greg's sausage roll yesterday, and it was piping hot for a change. All bird's eye chicken stuff is reduced a bit. Do it. Bird's eye stuff is good. And a lot of Richmond stuff. Although I like Richmond stuff. I like their Richmond sausages. However, I'm a massive fan of Irish sausages. I can't eat a standard pork sausage. Richmond Irish sausages, they just don't do it for me. I mean, they're good, but they're too dry. Let me know what you think down below. Maybe I'm wrong. That will last 20 minutes. I don't know. I really want someone who believes the earth is flat. Let me go back onto Twitter. And again, no one wants to join me. I know there are some flat earthers out there watching this, because I ended up with comment after comment on the last video from people who believe the earth is flat. Some actually wanted to join me. I said, come on, subscribe to the channel. You'll get a notification. You want to join me, you'll get a notification when I'm live. I'm going to do it again. Get me on Twitter at Real Talk Vlogger. DM me. Tell me your name or what you want to be known as. I'll give you the Zoom details. Put the details into Zoom. I will get you on. I will get you on here right now, talking to me, discussing why you believe the earth is flat. I believe there are Irish ones part of it too. Yeah, but they're not that great though. They're dry. they're dry. You know, I felt like at the underneath of a camel's foot. They are dry. Oh, 35 minutes and 17 seconds I've been doing this. And I'm really shocked at the fact that I'm really shocked at the fact that no one's taken this up yet. No one has taken the opportunity to come and talk to me as to why they believe coffee pause that the earth is flat. It's something I don't understand. And I need to trim this little bit right here. Look, it's not quite symmetrical. I want someone to come and tell me why you believe the earth is flat. Again, I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to ridicule you. I have done that in the past, but we're all people. We are all human beings at the end of the day, whether it's flat or round, it's round. I'm here to understand what makes you tick. I want to understand why you, as a person who believes the earth is flat, why you believe it. What was that one piece of evidence where you thought, oh my God, we've been lied to? Oh no! What am I going to tell people? The earth isn't a sphere, it's actually flat. I want you to understand. I want to understand what made you hit that point. Love. I was watching that documentary the other day. Well, I don't know about you, love, but I think the earth might actually be flat. Yeah. No, no, no. The proof's there. Like the earth is actually flat. I want you to tell me what that was. When was that for you? Tell me why you believe the earth is flat. Tell me your best bit of evidence, and I'll give you an argument to the contrary. I will. I'm not really a scientifically minded person. All my knowledge comes from my education. You see, from me paying attention at school. A lot of flat earthers say education is indoctrination. I'm going to go ahead and deny that. Um, a lot of flat earthers seem to think that, we as globers are sheep who believe anything. And yet, here we are trying to get at someone who believes the earth is flat, who believes anything. Ah, there we go. It's I don't know. I pity anyone who dares to, says Soft 16. Do night drivers drive all night routes at your garage? Yes, they do, I believe. I actually want to be a night driver, but only on my route because I am so lazy. I do not want to learn any other night route. Because the route I drive, the 12, is a 24-hour service, but it isn't an N12 because there's no need for an actual N12. For a bus to be given the designation N before the suffix, it needs to have a different route at its core. So, well, a different route at the end. But so basically, if you've got like the 3 and then you've got the N3, I believe the 3 currently terminates at Whitehall. It used to go all the way to Oxford Circus. Okay, we used to share the stand with them. Then they got cut back to Piccadilly Circus, and I believe, and I could be wrong because I've not been there for a long time, the Route 3 terminates at Whitehall and goes to Crystal Palace, which is literally a 10-minute walk from me. When it's the night service, however, I believe the night 3 or the N3 goes to Bromley North and does go all the way through to Oxford Circus. Again, I could be wrong on that, but I do know the N3 goes all the way to Bromley North, which is about 7 miles, no, about no, 6.5 miles that way. So Crystal Palace is literally the halfway point on the N3. Ultra, hey, what's going on? Hey, Real Talk, the Professor Dave Explains YouTube channel smashes the flat earth's nonsense without ever appealing to the scientific method. I've seen a lot. Check it out when you get a sec. Do you know what? Drop a link down below. I've actually seen quite a lot of, if it is the same person I'm talking about, without using any science. This guy literally debunks flat Earth. I think if it is the same guy, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. But the thing is, what I'm looking for right now is I'm actually on Zoom currently, Ultra. I'm on Zoom right now. I am waiting for someone who believes the Earth is flat to join me on this live. I will get you. Look, so you get, if you believe the Earth is flat, go here, right? You can DM me on Twitter at Real Talk Vlogger. Tell me what you want to be known as. I will give you the Zoom details via direct message. You can join me. You can talk about it now. You can tell me why you believe the Earth is flat. This is why I'm here. I want you to help me understand you. If you believe the Earth is flat, I've been doing this live for 40 minutes and 55 seconds trying to get someone who believes the Earth is flat to talk to me. I want this to happen so damn bad. Let me just double check. No, I've still got no direct messages in Twitter. Let me know what you think. If you believe the Earth is flat, tell me why you believe the Earth is flat. This is why I'm here today. We're going to keep it respectful. We're going to keep it calm. We're going to be nice to each other. We don't have to agree with each other, but we can be nice about it. This is what I'm here for. But you should ask your garage and maybe put your name on the night rota list when you are back. I don't think that's going to happen personally, because the drivers that are on the night list, they tend to like it. They don't really want to come off. The only thing that's holding me back from doing the night service really is the fact that I won't get to see my family. It'd literally be a case of I go to work when my kids are at school, or I'll be asleep during the day, basically, and then I'll wake up when my kids are eating dinner. I'll get ready to go to work just as they go to bed, and then I'll be at work all night, and then I'll come home, maybe take them to school, and then come home again, have something for dinner or breakfast, and then go to sleep again. I wouldn't get to see my missus. I wouldn't get to see my kids. That's the only drawback for me, really. And yeah, I know a lot of people that do it. A friend of mine who lives about 10 minutes down the road, he is a night driver at the same garage, and he's got 6 kids, 7 kids. I actually lost count. I should, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 6 kids. And he does it. He does it. I don't know how he does it, but I've got a lot of respect for him. I really, really do. Smoke Nando's says, no, that's the same one. I do apologize. So come on. If you believe the Earth is flat, come and talk to me. I really want to get you on here today. This is what I want to do. I want you to explain to me the reason why you believe the Earth is flat. Explain to me why I'm wrong. I will hear you out. I'll listen to you. I'll take what you're saying on board, and then I'll tell you why I believe you're wrong. And we can do this in a really polite way. JBM, take it easy. Yeah, my dad and partner don't get much regular sleep with their shifts on the ambulances. My dad's doing a paramedic course too. Well, all I can say to your dad is thank you for doing that. It's an amazing job, and I hope he passes his paramedic course. And I think there should be a lot more people that are interested in a job like that. I'm actually interested in being a paramedic / ambulance driver, but it all comes down to money and time and training at the end of the day. I can't afford to do that at the moment. I wish I could. But there we go. Everyone's different. And the fact that your dad's doing it, if you're a lifesaver, you're a hero in my book. Fantastic. So, again, we've been doing this for 44 minutes. Bang on. It is 9:35 and 15 seconds. I really, really, really want someone who believes the Earth is flat to come and join me. On the Route 12 rota, do you have to do all the shifts, or is there a 12 earlies, 12 middles, 12 lates rota? Well, that's a very interesting question on the 12s, because there is 4 different rotas, I believe. I could get this. Let me listen. So let me list them. So you've got the early shift, the early turn rota, and that on the 12s starts at 4 something in the morning. The first bus used to be leaving Oxford Circus at 5:10 in the morning. So you'd have to leave the garage at around about 4:30. Those rota, that rota, the early turn rota, finishes at the latest, I think, 1:30 in the afternoon. For me, personally, That would be amazing to get on that. I've actually been asking to go on the early turn rotor. For me, getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning, walking to work is no big deal. It's not a problem. I want to get on the early turn rotor, but getting on the early turn rotor is almost impossible. It just doesn't happen because everyone loves it so much. From earlies, you then have um, middles, or early middle, depending on what you want to call it. But you have middles, and middles can range from, they start at 8 o'clock up till 1 o'clock. So between 8 and 1 is classed as a middle, and that's the starting time. So I've done duties where I've started at 8 o'clock in the morning and I've finished at 7 o'clock in the evening. That is classed as a middle. If you start at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you can still finish at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the evening. That's a middle. And obviously you've got the nights as well. However, you also have what's known as the high earners. Now, the high earners, for those who don't understand what it is it's not more money per hour on the high earners, it's more hours in the day. So you can have high earners early, middle, late. You see, I mean, a late job will start at, I don't know, anything from 3 o'clock, whenever, onwards, and you can finish at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. But you've got the standard rota with earlys, middles, lates, and you've also got the high earners, early, middles, lates. But it does change. I mean, I could do. I was on the high earner before the illness, and they took me off the high earner, obviously, because wants, needs, other people, blah blah blah. But that's fine. But I could do a week of earlies, 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, finishing at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, what have you. And then the next week, I could be doing lates, which would be starting at 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, finishing at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And then the next week, I could be doing middles. It's just whatever it goes down on the rota, basically. It's not great, personally, but it is what it is. Um, Before I go, why did you change your YouTube name? Real talk? It was Chris's Real Talk. In fact, if you go further back, it was actually Chris's Walk and Talk. Then it was Chris's Real Talk, and now it's Real Talk. So I'm still Real Talk. You just call me Chris. It's not a problem. This is essentially Chris's Real Talk. This is Real Talk. You're watching Chris. Thank you for joining me. Appreciate this. It's a bit like the shift at Iceland. I got up at 4 this morning. Yeah, it's a bit of a it is a bit of a crapper, waking up really early. But the thing is the way I look at it is I work 4.2 miles away precisely. So if I wake up 3 hours before I start work, that gives me an hour to spend at home, having a wash, having a crap, getting dressed, walking the dog, having breakfast, kissing the missus goodbye, and going. That gives me an hour to get all those things sorted out. It then takes me an hour and 10 minutes to go to work on foot. I mean, I'll walk, and then that gives me about an hour to 50 minutes to have a coffee while I'm at work, calm, collected, see what the diversions are, see if there's any notifications, prepare myself for the day, and then go and check the bus over, make sure it's safe, all that good stuff. JBM Travel, Chris's Real Talk. JBM Travel, Real Talk is already a channel. This, I know. The thing is, if you go to YouTube and type in Chris's Real Talk, this channel will still be at the top of the list anyway. In fact, this channel actually started life not as a vlogging channel, but as a reviewer channel. Because before I did any of this, I was actually called Chris Reviews. And I used to review e-liquid, different types of e-liquid. And that didn't really take off. So my email address for this is actually chrisstaveley.reviews@gmail.com. Funny enough, because you can't change your email address for YouTube, which is a bit of a pain in the ass. But Chris's Real Talk, if you type it in, it does still give me the top search result. There are loads of other Real Talk channels out there, but this is the best one. Let's face it. You know, this is the best Real Talk. I'm actually toying with the idea of changing um, something with it again, but again, I like the logo. I like the merch. Real Talk is what it is. Real Talk Vlogger, maybe, or CRTV. That's what you get me on Twitter. I'm Real Talk Vlogger, CRTV, Chris Real Talk, TV, no CRTV. But take it easy, JBM. But we'll wait and see. I'm not terribly fussed either way. If people want to share my videos, they like my videos, then that's how I get people in. How about spare drivers? Are there many spare day drivers at your garage? I can't tell you what's happening at my garage currently, but we do have spare drivers, spare day drivers. We've got who I class as a bus legend in my garage specifically, and he works across the whole of Go Ahead in London. I'm not going to say his name, but we have got a specific driver who knows every single Go Ahead route in London, and he is a night spare driver. And if you know his name, don't mention his name in the comment section, please. But he is an absolute hero. He knows all the routes from Go Ahead in the whole of London. And when it comes for him to get a call to cover a certain route, he travels to wherever the garage is and he drives the route. I don't know how he does it. The guy is an absolute legend. But we have got spare drivers. They enjoy being spare. They like the variety. They like the mix. They like going on different routes every day because they get bored very easily when it comes to driving a bus. Personally, me, I'm not like that. I like what I like. I like driving up and down on my route on a daily basis. I like familiarity. I like driving through Peckham. I like driving through Camberwell, Elephant and Castle. I like going down Whitehall or Horse Guards. There's all of that. For me, that's home because I used to work in the centre of London anyway, and it comes near me. The South London is my manor. For me, the Route 12 is home. If Go Ahead managed to get the Route 3 off Abellio, I'd probably apply to drive that because I know that route like the back of my hand. It was my old school bus, and I know that route in and out. It's not a problem. Again, I would drive that. There's another guy at New Cross who is the same. I think they're in competition with each other, as I see on the Facebook groups. Quite possibly. Hang on. Ooh, that's tasty. But there we go, So I do still talk about buses. It's not exclusively let's talk about everything else channel. Bus driving is my profession, and I genuinely can't wait to get back to driving my bus. But right now, I'm on the hunt for someone who believes the earth is flat. If you believe the earth is flat, come and join me. This is why I'm here. I want you to talk to me and explain to me why you believe the earth is flat. I'm not here to ridicule. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to help me to understand you. Help me to understand why you believe the earth is flat. You can get me on Twitter at Real Talk Vlogger. Send me a direct message. I will give you the Zoom details. You can join me live right now. We can talk about it. I've put a notification up here. Please be respectful in the comment section. We are all entitled to our own beliefs, whether we agree with them or not. That is scrolling so damn slow, but I want you to read it and understand it. I really, really want to get someone who believes the earth is flat on here this morning so we can talk about it. I want to understand you. Come on, explain to me why you believe the earth is flat. If anything, try to convince me. Because the more you try and convince me, it makes your argument a bit more believable. It's going to take a lot for me to be convinced, though. Don't see it happening personally. Bus driving, says Sam Stephen, is a backup job for me and possibly a weekend thing I'll do. Do you know what? I'll say this to anyone, if you think about being a bus driver, or you've had the thought about being a bus driver, and you've got a clean driving license that you've held for over 2 years, apply for it. Don't just think about it, because it's something you think about forever and ever and ever. And by the time you want to do it, it's too late. If you're thinking about it now, apply. There's a few reasons for this. One is there are bus driving vacancies constantly. Constantly. Any bus garage that is decent will always have vacancies. For various different reasons, they'll always have vacancies. Either drivers are retiring, or unfortunately drivers are passing. We don't want that to happen. Or drivers unfortunately make a mistake and they end up biting their, shooting themselves in the foot, and they end up getting the sack. Drivers are a constant flow, unfortunately, and if you're good at what you do, you won't get the sack, basically. So apply for it. Second reason why you should always apply for it, because there's always vacancies, is you get paid to train. Instead of going privately for a company like Wallace, which is good if that's what you want to do, if you go for a bus company, they will pay you to train. You should get just over minimum wage, if not then minimum wage, whatever. But the training doesn't last forever. They aim to get you from your first lesson to being passed and qualified within 10 weeks. That might have changed since I did it, but they aim to get you qualified within 10 weeks. And that includes theory test, practical test, as a perception, your mod 4, everything that goes along with it. And it upgrades your driving license as well. Let me just make that very clear. It makes you a better driver. So even if you've been driving for years, you've never had an accident, you've got no points on your license, learning to drive a bus, no matter how much of a good driver you are, will make you a better driver, because you end up finding things that people are doing are wrong that you never noticed before. You'll find that your driving in your own car becomes a lot safer. And you'll be like, damn, I used to drive this way. Learning to drive a bus improves your driving. And once you've got that license, once you pass your test, and remember, it's not easy. It is difficult. I actually failed my first 2 driving tests in the bus. The first time I was actually genuinely stitched up. The second time was my fault. The third time I passed it with flying colours. I thought, I'm not doing it again. But equally, depends on how badly if you fail, and you fail badly, the assessor and the driving instructor have a choice to make whether they think it's worth you continuing. So if you failed your test on something silly, and it was either too many minors or something you could work on, they will give you a second chance the majority of the time. If, like me, you failed on something, again, that was silly, then they'll give you a third chance, but you won't get a fourth. That's for damn sure. But do it. There's no time like the present. You get paid. A lot of the time, you'll actually be paid more for training than what you get in your actual job. Think about that. And once you pass, all these companies ask is that you stay with them. Like my company, for example, you stay with that company for a year. That's all they ask. If they've spent money on training you, and they give you uniform, and they give you a job, if you stay with that company for a year, after a year, you can go anywhere you like. It's your license. You can take it and drive anywhere you like in the UK. Not a problem. All you have to do is stay with that company for a year, and that's your debt to them paid. And you're qualified. Chris failed for driving off the earth. Yes, I did. Hands up. I found the edge, and I actually crashed into the ice wall. I did. I crashed into the ice wall when I was learning how to drive my bus, and I hang my head in shame. There's one thing that's holding me back. COVID stopped me getting my license a year ago. Look, COVID has stopped a lot of people from doing a lot of things. It isn't great, but it isn't going to last forever. The only way you'll know for sure is get on the phone, contact these garages. My garage, for example, has a dedicated training school on the corner of Warner Road. I believe all the go-ahead training happens there across London. We have the training school. There might be one or two others, but the main training school is at my garage, and they are absolutely fantastic. Contact them on the phone, find out what's happening. They'll give you a time of reference. They may do. They may tell you where to when to apply again. But again, try different companies because we need. I mean, I know there are training buses out there because I've seen them. Um, Chris failed for driving off the. I do find that quite funny. Um, but there we go. So here we go. It is now 1 hour and 46 seconds since I started this live. Again, I had absolutely no takers. Flat earthers, please. I'm here for you. I'm not here to be nasty. I'm not here to try and ridicule you. I'm here to understand why you believe what you believe. And I think the weather thing up here is something's not quite right with that. I might have to get rid of that. That's actually annoying me anyway. Your company has the best pay though. That depends. That all depends. Pay and perks are two separate things. I mean, you could work for a company that has less hourly rate of pay. However, their perks might be better. You could end up with antisocial hours bonus. You could end up with more holiday, for example. I know Abellio has more holiday than Go Ahead. You could end up with safe driving bonuses every God knows how long. So there's perks, there's pros and cons. I mean, my hourly rate is a lot higher than a lot of others in the same garage because I'm what's classed as the new contract. However, because they're on the older contract, they've got a lot more perks than me and they end up earning more than I do. I meant my car driving license. No, 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 no. Oh, okay, gotcha. I understand now. Well, get your car driving license. Wait 2 years. Apply to be a bus driver. Getting you. What you need to remember when driving a car. I'll give you the best. I'll give you the best advice for driving a car. Okay. Whether it's automatic or manual, or if you're in America, you call it stick. Okay. This is what you need to remember when driving a car. Okay. Check your mirrors left and right once every 5 seconds as a rule of thumb. I'm telling you this as a bus driver. That's what we get taught. So if I can teach you this as a bus driver, then obviously it transfers over to cars. You will pass based on what I'm telling you. Okay. So if you're sitting at the wheel, all you need to remember is bang, bang. Every 5 seconds, bang, bang. Check your near side. Check your off side. Check your mirrors. Okay. Every time you change gear, check your mirror. Every 5 seconds, check that mirror also. All right. So this is the habit you want to get into. Bang. Yeah. Bang, bang. Even when you change gear, bang. Check that mirror. Bang, bang. Check your mirrors. If you are aware 100% of what is around you at any given time, you will be a safer driver. Another thing to remember is it's a speed limit, not a speed target. Okay? So if there is a 30 mile an hour speed limit, it's okay to drive 1 or 2 mile an hour below that limit. It's okay. Okay? It's a speed limit, not a speed target. Progressive braking is another one. So if you know how to ride a bike, you know that when you're pulling the brakes, how much to squeeze to stop at a certain point. Using the brake in a car is almost exactly the same. Yeah? So you squeeze that brake pedal, the car will begin to slow down. Okay? And over time, usually it takes about 2 or 3 lessons to get this, but you'll learn the finesse on the brake pedal and also on the clutch. You know, there's a finesse to it. You can get it bang on every single time, but observation is the main thing. Okay. The next thing you need to remember is 10 and 2. Okay. 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock on your steering wheel. Don't hold it down here. Hold it up here, 10 and 2. If you're a prestigious driver, and you know, if you drive something like a Bentley or something, they'll always say hold it this way because it's smoother. Don't let them tell you anything. 10 and 2, and it's push, pull, push, pull. The only time you take your hand off that steering wheel, especially during a test, is to change gear. Of course, you're allowed to scratch your nose and wipe your eye, but don't do that while the car is in motion. 10 2, push, pull. Always check your mirrors. Honestly, you can never check your mirrors enough. Okay, these are the basics. But learning how to brake and accelerate smoothly as well. But the main thing is mirrors. You will get marked down and fail your test if you don't use your mirrors enough. That's a fact. Here we go. I get really surprised that there are some bus drivers who don't know how to brake properly and are so jerky. Smoke Nando's, I'm going to go on the defensive on this one. A lot of the time, 90% of the time, that's not the bus driver's fault. I can say this because it's happened to me countless times. Basically, what happens is with these buses, especially with some older buses, there's 4 different types of brake on a bus. Well, on certain types of bus, you've got your uh, handbrake, which is obviously to prevent the bus from moving and make sure it's secure. You've got the Brom's brake, which not a lot of people know about, unless you're a bus driver, which means if the air pressure in the bus drops below a certain point, the Brom's brake will kick in and the bus will not move unless the pressure is built up again. You've got the service brake, which is the brake that we're all used to with the discs and drums. On buses, I believe it's just drums. And then you've also got a brake called the retarder. Make your own joke if you want. The retarder is actually magnetic, and when you take your foot off the gas, the retarder actually kicks in to slow the bus magnetically before the service brake, which is on your foot. Now, when the bus becomes really jerky due to braking, that's usually due to a crossover between the retarder and the service brake. Okay, and sometimes those brakes can be really, really snatchy. So even if the bus driver's foot is on that pedal and he's pushing as smoothly as he can, gently as he can, sometimes it can't be helped and that bus is going to be jerky regardless of the situation. And I mean, I've actually been on a bus where the driver has been cussed off by passengers, and then I've actually driven that same bus the same day, and I've had to deal with exactly what that driver's gone through. But you do learn after a while the feel of that bus. You can, in a way, learn to adapt your braking to compensate for that jerky behavior of the bus. But a lot of the time, it is just the nature of that bus. Every single bus is different, even if they are the same make, the same model, registered on the same year. Every single bus is different, and in a sense, every single bus has what I like to call its own personality, because you can have some buses where they're actually really responsive and fast, some are really sluggish and slow, some have brakes that aren't as responsive but they're still good brakes to use, and others have brakes that are really responsive, or some have brakes that are really snatchy. You know, each bus has its own personality, and you learn those buses, you learn how to drive those individual buses over time. But a lot of the time, I am going to go on the defensive on jerky braking. 90% of the time, it is not the bus driver's fault. It is genuinely the bus. The other 10% of the time, it is genuinely because the bus driver is doing what he or she is doing. And all I can say about that is I'm sorry. You shouldn't have to deal with that. Currently on an Uno bus in Hertfordshire to get me home. So big up the bus driver on that bus. And another thing, always please say thank you to the bus driver. It is a thankless job. I know you probably do, Sam, anyway, but literally we drive up and down a lot of the time. No one says thank you when they get on. No one says thank you when they get off. And it is literally a case of, you know, we're just part of the machine. We're just expected to be there. You know, like a drinks machine. You put the money in, you get your drink out, you go, you forget about it. A lot of people treat bus drivers like that. We're people too. And so are flat earthers on that respect, because I really want to get someone who believes the earth is flat to come and join me on this video. We've got 5 people watching currently. If you believe the earth is flat, or if you have had an experience where someone believes the earth is flat and you've had to deal with them, let me know in the comment section down below. I will be willing to get you on to this video live right now with me so we can talk about it, as I am currently streaming this video to YouTube via Zoom and OBS. The joys of technology. We've been streaming for 1 hour and 10 minutes and 34 seconds. I really want to get someone who believes the earth is flat on this morning. So please, come on, boys and girls. If you are a flat earther, I am here to help, to, you know, just for you to help me understand why you believe the earth is flat. I want to know what makes you tick. I want to know what that first piece of evidence was that you had given to you where you thought, oh my God, the earth isn't a sphere, it's flat. I want you to tell me when that was for you. What made you a flat earth believer? You tell me what that was for you. You know, give me your best evidence as to why you think the earth is flat, and I'll give you my best reaction and response to you. We can talk about this like grown-ups. We can talk about this like adults. Come on. I want you on this channel with me live right now on Real Talk. You can get me right now live. Come on. Go to Twitter at Real Talk Vlogger. Send me a DM. I will give you the details to admit you into this live right now so we can talk about why you believe the earth is flat. Come on. Maybe after magic mushrooms. Maybe, you know, if you want to talk to me after magic mushrooms, that's fine. You know, I'm not going to condone the use of drugs or narcotics in any way, but if magic mushrooms is your poison, that's up to you. So there we go. Come on, let me just refresh this page. No, still no DMs. Come on, people. Come on, people. If this video ends up going the way I expect it to go, which is no flat earther is going to join me at all, which is what happened in the last one, then I might be tempted to take a video call and admit someone else who doesn't believe the earth is flat so we can talk about something else. We can talk about buses if you wish, but I have to let you know that I have got a poorly 6-year-old in the bedroom today, so I can't be doing this forever. So if you want to talk about being a bus driver, or you've got some questions you'd like to ask me as a bus driver, and you want to ask me these questions face to face, then DM me at Twitter at Real Talk Vlogger. I'll send you the admission details to this Zoom call, and you can talk to me live if you wish. I mean, it's not exactly the best treat in the world, as I can be the most boring person in history, but that's okay. You know, we all have our flaws. But I'll be willing to talk to someone today. That's absolutely not a problem. I'm only going to do one, though, because if I give it to everyone, if I put the details here right now, knowing my luck is it'll explode, and then we'll end up with a mess that I can't really control on Zoom. But there we go. So, you know, if you want to talk to me, if you want to talk to me about buses, or even if you do want to talk to me about the flat earth phenomenon as what it is, then let me know, and we can talk about that. I'll be happy to jump on possibly when I'm home one day. That even means that one day you'll join me, or one day you'll get home because the bus is so damn slow. But that's what it is. Let me just double check this again. Come on, I've got 6 people watching. If you wish to join me right now to discuss the flat earth and what you believe people think the flat earth is, even if you don't believe earth is flat at this point, but you've heard about it and it interests you, or you know, you've seen documentaries like Behind the Curve or Flat whatever, you know, you want to talk about it, we can talk about why the earth is flat. It's not a problem. I've got all the arguments that flat earthers have locked up here, well, majority of them. I get why they understand. I think I understand why they think the earth is flat. But for as good as their logic is, it just doesn't work in principle. I mean, I understand why they believe it to a point. but I don't understand why they believe it after a certain point when their arguments start breaking down. This is what gets me. So if you are a flat earther and you believe there's a firmament, explain to me what you believe that is, and I'll explain to you why you're flawed. If you believe in a geocentric model as opposed to a heliocentric model, then let me know and I'll tell you why I believe you're wrong. And we can talk about it like grown ups. It's absolutely not a problem. So there we go. I'm going to give this a few more minutes actually. If no one wants to join me and to discuss the flat earth phenomenon, then that's absolutely fine. But I am here today, like I was the last time, to try and get someone who believes the earth is flat to come and talk to me. Bus driver today is not too slow and not too fast. That to me tells me that that bus driver is doing what he or she is doing and they're doing it well. I was always taught to drive like my nan, bless both their souls, is on the back of the bus pouring tea. So if you can be on a bus that is that smooth, then that's fantastic. Remember, driving fast doesn't necessarily get you there quicker. Um, the Earth is a television. Oh my God, apparently the Earth is a television, says Smoke Nando's. That'd be quite funny. That'd be quite funny. I've got a laughing 6-year-old at the door. Oliver, go back to your bed, please, if you're feeling not well. But do not come into this living room. Thank you. Go on, go and lay down if you're not feeling well. Bless him. He's got a cold, but like I said before, knowing my luck is I'll send him into school and then I'd end up with a call from the school saying, can I go and get him? So I make the executive decision to keep him home today, which is what it is, unfortunately. So there we go. It looks like no one's going to join me, unfortunately. No one can say that I didn't try. I tried, and I tried again. I really wanted to get someone who believed the earth was flat to come and discuss this with me today. This isn't the end of it, though. I am going to do attempt number 3. In fact, I may well keep it on this format until I get someone. Every video I do until I get someone who believes the earth is flat is going to be based on this. The day I get someone who believes this and I get them on this chat, on this with me right now, I will stop and I'll start doing my usual thing. But I want someone who believes the earth is flat to come talk to me. We can talk about other things in the comment section, absolutely no problem. But the main focus for every video I'm going to do from now on until I get someone on is to discuss with someone why they think the earth is flat. Once I get that and I'm satisfied, I'll go back to normal. But other than that, this is what it is. This is now my quest, my crusade to get someone on here who believes the earth is flat. So maybe we're a virtual reality controlled by someone. Maybe we're all part of a 4-dimensional Sims game. Think about that. We as third dimensional beings control everything in the second and first dimension. We can literally do what we want. This is a 3-dimensional object. I can move that and do whatever I want with it. If you're a 4th-dimensional object, who's to say they can't control 3-dimensional objects? You know, so if I'm playing a game on my computer and I've got someone holding a gun, I'm controlling that character. That character is absolutely unaware of it because it's made of digital ones and zeros. However, if there is a 4th-dimensional being out there, who's to say they can't manipulate the reality of a 3rd dimension? Maybe we are being controlled like Sims. Maybe there's someone or something in the 4th dimension right now clicking a 4th-dimensional computer mouse, telling me what to say, telling me how to communicate with you in the 3rd dimension. Imagine if there's a being out there in the 5th dimension which can do exactly the same, and it goes on and on and on, and oh my God, the mind absolutely explodes. Maybe everything I'm saying now is being controlled by someone in the 11th dimension, being controlling someone in the 10th, controlling someone in the 9th, and so on and so forth, until I am here right now in a 3rd dimensional universe communicating with you while I look at a screen that is a 2-dimensional screen. The mind is blown. Fast driving does feel good though. Fast driving may well feel good. Do that in your own car. Seriously, I mean, My dad said to me once I got my driving license, my first ever car, he said to me, driving slow is cooler. I didn't believe him at the time, but in essence, it kind of is because I feel really proud of myself now that I've got, what, 17 years, no claims bonus. I've got no points on my license, and I did that because it is, that's cool, you know. So I know a lot of people that have nearly lost their license within 2 years of actually getting their driving license, and that's not great. But driving fast is good when it's needed. The feeling of going fast is a rush, but you don't actually feel the speed. You feel the acceleration once you stop accelerating and you get to that cruising speed. Then it's irrelevant then, because at that point everything should be moving at the same speed of you as you, because you should be on the motorway. Chris, how do you handle fare evaders? Do you refuse to drive until they get off or pay, or do you call code red? Says Smoke Nando's. Smoke Nando's, that is one of the best questions I've had from you. My view on this has changed over the years. I have been that bus driver. We've all seen that bus driver, you know, turn the engine off. No, I'm not going to, sorry, mate, pay your fare like everyone else, or I'm not driving. I've done that. I've been that guy. I have been that harsh. Um, the way it works now is, as I'm getting older and the more I've done this job, if someone refuses to pay on my bus now, I'm at that point where I'll ask them, are you refusing to pay? If they say no, fine, you can pay somewhere else on the bus. If I see them go straight upstairs, I'll make a mental note of it. And I'm not going to refuse them. Okay? If a revenue inspector gets on my bus, all I have to say is, there's someone on the bus hasn't paid their fare. Upstairs, downstairs, wherever. Or there may be someone on the bus that hasn't paid. I'm, at this point, not going to hold up a bus full of people who need to go somewhere, because that's not fair on them. That's not fair on them at all. So, again, I've been that guy. I've refused to turn the engine off. I've refused to go. I've turned the engine off before. I've been that annoying git bus driver. I have been. I can't lie. But I'm not going to call code red over something. The only reason I would ever call a code red to someone like that who refuses to pay is if they're abusive to me. Because the second you're abusive to me, I will refuse to drive. I deserve the right to work without fear of abuse, basically. So I've got no problem. If you don't want to pay, fine. If a revenue inspector gets on, I'm going to tell him where you are. Not a problem. But the second you start being abusive to me, it's game over. I'm not taking you anywhere. And I will sit there until you leave. And if you refuse to leave, I will have you removed, and I will call code red. I've got absolutely no problem with that. But just don't be nasty. It's like if you go to the chicken shop, you go to any sort of restaurant, for example, and you're rude to the people that make your food, you're rude to the people that serve you your food. Think about that. If you're rude to people that make your food, expect your food to be tampered with in some way. There's a few people in life you should never be rude to, okay? One, never be rude to your mum. You only get one mum in life. Whether you get on with her or not is irrelevant. But don't be rude to your mum. Secondly is, don't be rude to the people that prepare your food. And thirdly, don't be rude to the bus driver, because he or she won't take you anywhere. That's the way you got to look at it. If you're rude to me, if you give me abuse, I'm going to point blank refuse to drive you anywhere. Even if you do pay your fare after you've been abusive to me, that's irrelevant. I've already told you I'm not taking you. So the fact that you've paid your fare is all on you, and I'm not going to give you a transfer ticket because I've already refused you travel on my bus. So therefore, go and top up and go and get another bus. But don't be rude to bus drivers. It's as simple as that. You know, we deserve to be treated like anyone else. Let me have a look at this. The buses on a 60-mile-an-hour road is interesting. Buses are generally capped at a set speed. Most buses won't go over 50 mile an hour. There are a few exceptions. Some buses go up to 60 mile an hour, but that is the absolute roof, and it depends on the bus. So there is that. Have there been no ticket inspectors on London buses for over a year? There have been actually ticket inspectors on London buses. Not many, but there have been. Um, I had a driver who wouldn't let a 15-year-old girl on at 2 a.m. one night, and he would just sit there until they got off. See, that is no good. That's no good, okay? The way I see it is when it's dark, when it's dark, if you are female or a male, depending on what your situation is, if you are vulnerable and in distress, especially if it's dark, I will take you. No driver in their right mind will refuse you if you are vulnerable and in distress. I won't even ask you for a bus fare. If you get on my bus and you say to me, look, I can't get home, this is the situation, it's late, I've got no money, this is where I live, this bus takes me there, can you help? Absolutely no problem. I would rather you are on my bus and safe where I know I can see you, especially if you get on my bus and you say to me, look, can you let me on this bus? I've got no bus fare, but I think there's someone watching me or following me. That actually happens. If you get on my bus and you need help, I will help you, especially if it's dark. So any bus driver out there who refuses a 15-year-old girl travel, shame on you. And I hope you get reported. Shame on you. That is wrong. That is wrong. But it clearly says you shouldn't let vulnerable. You should let vulnerable. Exactly. You should let vulnerable people on every single time. I am never going to turn away someone that is vulnerable or in distress. And if someone needs help, by golly, I'm going to help them. It was late at night. Dude, don't be rude to people who pay your wages too. Yeah, this is true. Don't be rude to people who pay your wages too. However, there are times where the people who pay your wages can be wrong, and there are ways of dealing with that without being rude. So just remember that. But as a rule of thumb, don't be rude to your mum. Don't be rude to people that that prepare your food. Sorry, and don't be rude to bus drivers. I feel like that's the bus driver's duty to help out that sort of situation. It's very true. I should have reported him, but I was a couple of years ago. You know what? Hindsight is a beautiful thing. What we should have done is what we should have done. But all I can say is just keep an eye out. You never know what can happen in the future. If you see something like that happen again, just say before even reporting the driver, just have a word with the driver. Say, driver, I believe that person should be on your bus because they're vulnerable and in distress. If you don't let them on the bus, I'm going to report you to TfL. Not even the garage, straight to TfL. And that driver should take that on board and let that passenger on board. I don't like saying that. I don't like grassing or doing stuff like that. But, when it comes to the safety of passengers, the comfort and safety of your passengers is 100% first and foremost what you need to take into consideration. And if there's someone who is outside of your bus that needs to get on your bus and will be safer on your bus, then there is absolutely no argument there. Take them on your bus. Comfort and safety of your passengers is paramount as a bus driver. And if you can do the right thing by taking someone on your bus who is vulnerable that needs to be on your bus, then don't question it, don't hesitate, do the right thing, take that person on your bus. You don't know. You could actually be protecting that person. That person, because of you, may not end up on the news as a missing person. Think about that. Think about that. Deccan closes the windows. He would spam the no standing on the upper deck. Yeah, I've done that. I can't lie. I've actually spammed the do not stand on the upper deck button until people get the message. And if people don't get the message, I'll just put a kind reminder out. Push the button. Very good afternoon, everybody. Please be aware that standing on the upper deck is not allowed. Please make your way downstairs where you can stand or sit. If you cannot find somewhere to stand or sit, then please come and see the driver, and I'll be more than willing to give you a transfer ticket if you've paid your fare so you can continue your journey. Yes, I have been that thorough and that professional and that sad all at the same time. But you need to remember the comfort and safety, as I was saying, of passengers is the first and foremost thing we need to remember as bus drivers. So standing on the stairs, standing on the upper deck is a big no-no. It doesn't happen. You don't do it. It's the main reason why you don't do it, because if you have to do an emergency stop and someone goes flying forward, they will actually go through that window, and then it's a 12 to 15 foot drop to the ground down below and a dead person. Equally, don't overcrowd the bus on the lower deck with standing, as you know, 15 people are the equivalent of 1 ton. So if I have to slam my brakes on and you're standing like this, hello driver, like that, and I have to do an emergency stop, that person at the front is going to have the weight of 15 plus people crush them. That's 1 ton or more of weight on someone. You're going to die. You know, so don't overcrowd a bus. Do not stand up close to the driver. Think about these things. A lot of people don't understand this. And it's down to the drivers as well to take some responsibility for not overcrowding as well, making sure that their buses are safe for all their passengers by making sure people do not stand on the upper deck, making sure people do not stand on the stairs, and by making sure that their buses are not over capacity, especially for the pandemic, and making sure loads of people do not crowd on buses by standing downstairs. Thank you very much. No, but the thing is, Chris, it would spam it when people are closing the windows. Yeah, that's going a bit excessive. Don't do that. That's not great. You won't be able to close the windows soon as they are going to be blocked open. No, that's not true. Windows can't be blocked open by engineers because those buses need to go through a bus wash. And if those windows are locked open, then the insides of those buses and the upholstery, the seats are going to get absolutely soaking wet. That is not true. Connor Green, good morning. How are you? You've missed a lot of this live. It is now 1 hour, 32 minutes and 25 seconds since I've been live. But thanks for joining me. I'm going to wrap this up very soon. Connor, if you have just joined me, I want to know, do you believe the earth is flat? Do you think anyone else that you know believes the earth is flat? And if so, let me know in the comment section down below. I'm trying to get someone on this channel today who believes the earth is flat, and I will have you on here as a guest right now if you know someone who believes the earth is flat. All you've got to do is send me a link here at a DM, at Real Talk Vlogger at Twitter. I'll send you the DM details to get you on this Zoom call into YouTube right now so we can discuss why people think the earth is flat. Absolutely no problem. Because it opens all of it at the terminal. Yeah, it's just a pain in the ass. Still no working model of a flat earth. This is very true. High Plains Drafter, good morning. Thank you very much for joining me. In the words of a Simon Dan, still no working model for a flat earth. That should tell them a lot. Again, this is very true. There is no working model of a flat earth. They do believe that the earth is a magical space pizza with a dome over the top. And like I said in the Flat Earth Society forum on Facebook yesterday, they believe this dome is called the firmament, and they believe it's about 70 miles high. But the problem I have with that is if you've got the earth, which is flat here, for example, we use this. Tell you what, we use this. Imagine this is flat earth, okay? And imagine, for example, if you will, there is a dome over the top. Now, if this from here to here is the entire diameter, if that is the correct word, of the earth, and there is a dome 70 miles up, then that dome isn't going to be up here somewhere. That dome is going to be at the bottom of my finger there, which means you're not going to see at all a dome from outside the earth. You're going to see a glass plate is what you're going to see. And if you believe, flat earthers, that the sun is 3,000 miles away and is 30 odd miles wide, which is why you believe it is the size it is, that contradicts yourself because you think the sun is inside this magical dome, which is only 70 miles high, which is the case. Which, if you believe is the case, sorry, then obviously the sun is only going to be 30 miles away or so, maybe 40 miles away from your face in the sky. It's going to be absolutely massive, and we're all going to die in a massive hell of fiery sun death. So if that is what you think, flat earthers, I've literally just debunked your theory right here. But tell me why you think I'm wrong. If you believe the earth is flat, then we can talk about this right now. So hi, Plains Drafter, if you want to talk to me about your experience about flat earthers, let me know. Get me at Real Talk Vlogger and Twitter, and I will DM you. You DM me your name, what you want to be known as. I'll call you that if you want. And I'll get you on this video right now. We can talk about this on Zoom. We can talk about flat earthers. And if I get a flat earther right now, that would be absolutely amazing. I want to talk to someone who's had an experience with the flat earth. I want a flat earther to try and convince me. You're not going to, but try and convince me the earth is flat. This is what I want to happen today. Also, if there was some imaginary crystal whatever dome, it would have a lot of holes in it from comets, meteors, and other crashing things. Do you know what? I'm with you on that. But this is the flat earther argument. I'm going to tell you exactly what they're going to say, High Plains Drafter. They think all of it, the stars, the planets, space, is all fake. They believe it's all projected onto the firmament, so we see a projection hologram, and all of the things we see falling out the sky are fake. Even the things that hit the floor, they say they're fake. It makes me laugh. The earth is fake, it doesn't exist. Yeah, we all live in a simulation, isn't it? But High Plains Drafter, if you have had any experience with flat earthers, let me know in the comment section down below. Get me a DM on Twitter. I will get you on this. We can talk about it. That would be quite cool. Keep up the good works. That famed flat earther Ranty converted to a glober is a crack in the symbolic dome. Do you know what, High Plains Drafter? You are very correct. Ranty did go back to being a baller. And the reason why he went back to being a baller is because of a photograph, I believe, of Blackpool Tower with mountains behind it. And if that worked on a flat earth model, if you've got the tower here, those mountains should have been up here somewhere. Or if they were further away, maybe here. But because of the drop, the curvature of the earth, the top of the mountain was actually below the top of Blackpool Tower. So, you know, that is what converted him to being a glober. Near Cumbria, England. We've got someone in the UK. Come on, that'll do. This channel, I think you're new to this channel. Thank you very much for joining. I tend to keep a track on most people that comment. I've got a mental picture of everyone that comments. I remember the regulars. So, High Plains Drafter, thanks for joining. Hit that subscribe button if you like what you hear. I'm going to keep this format on with the flat earth thing until I get someone who believes the earth is flat onto this channel. Normally this channel I talk about anything and everything in the news, whether it's COVID related, politics, things that I believe in, things I don't believe in, things that just annoy me, my life experiences. I talk about all kinds of things on this channel, but until I get a flat earther on this channel, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to stream to you through Zoom. I'm going to put everything the way it should be for getting a flat earther on this channel. I want someone who believes the earth is flat to come on and tell me why you think the earth is flat. I'm not going to ridicule you. I'm not going to put you down. I'm going to give you a fair crack of the whip. I'm going to let you say your beliefs and why. Try to convince me the earth is flat. This is what I want. I want you to try and convince me why you believe what you believe, and I'll give you an argument in an adult, polite way as to why you are wrong. I'm not here to convince you. We're here to debate about it. This is what I want. So I tell you what, High Plains Drafter, thanks for joining. I'm probably going to be doing this same thing again on Thursday and Friday, because those are the next 2 days I have to actually go live on this matter. Please, oh, not David Icke. I swear to God, I can't stand David Icke. He is the biggest pillock going. Humans do not exist. Well, apparently, according to Jim Carrey, humans don't exist. In fact, if you think about it, if you think about this deep, long, and hard, all we are as a meat bag is a vessel, and all energy is eternal. Energy becomes energy becomes energy. You as a consciousness, as what you are, is electrical signals, and once those electrical signals stop this body from working, those electrical signals go somewhere. I think that you as a mind are eternal. Maybe reincarnation is real. I don't know. Maybe you go get sucked up into the fourth dimension. Maybe you can look down. I don't know. But I think personally I'm going to live forever. This isn't a religious thing. This is just a belief. Um, but, you know, the earth isn't flat. There we go. I think in terms of energy as electrical signals, I think the mind will last forever. That's my interpretation of life. This thing that I am here, this body, this visage, all of this physicality isn't me. I'm up here. I'm residing in this. This is me up here somewhere. So humans, you know, as what we are, don't technically exist. We're all up here. This is just a vessel. There we go. Chris, I noticed some night drivers do not follow the timetable on their last journey and run early sometimes, get into their terminus like 10-15 minutes early. That's because they want to go home. I can't condone that sort of behavior, but that is exactly what it is, unfortunately. However, if they are following a headway and they're not running on time and there is a good headway there, then they can run early. Or if they've been asked to run early by the controller, that is not unheard of. That does happen. Let me have a look here. I guess the controllers are asleep or something or aren't watching. No, that actually happens. Let's have a look here. But they get away with it. What are your views on this? Again, it all depends on the situation. Some drivers do it because they don't care. A lot of the time, they are actually asked to run early to fill a gap, which is more than likely the case. If they are running 10 to 15 minutes early, it could be because the bus in front has actually got a problem with it, or it's had to go somewhere to get whatever. And then because there's normally a 25-minute to half-hour gap on a London service, if you can run 15 minutes early, that just closes the gap in the service, and the bus behind will be asked to run 10 minutes early. Then the bus behind that will be asked to run 5 minutes early, and the bus behind that will be asked to run on time, and then it's a balancing act, is what happens there. So a lot of drivers actually do run early under instruction on a night service, not necessarily because they want to go home, but again, that's not unheard of. I get told by drivers everything gets logged, so that would be risking their jobs. And again, it all gets logged. It gets logged by TfL. It gets logged in the garage. It all gets logged. But, you know, no, I noticed it always the last trip of that route, which is a low-frequency route. Again, who knows? They could be running early under instruction. You don't know. I know it's a pain, but it is what it is, unfortunately. So they shouldn't be running more than 2.5 minutes early. Again, depends. It all depends. If it's under instruction, it's no problem. I mean, I've been driving the Express 68 before, which goes from West Croydon to Russell Square. Haven't done that for a long time. Is it Russell Square? No, Euston, wherever. And I've actually been the express service. You take people on, you don't let people off. That's how the express works. Between Croydon and West Norwood, you don't let people off. So if you got on the wrong bus, that's entirely your fault. You don't open the rear door. From West Norwood to Waterloo is express. You do not stop at a bus stop at all. It doesn't happen. So from Croydon to West Norwood, only let people on. From West Norwood to Waterloo is express. You do not stop at all to let people on. You do not stop to let people off. Even if that bell rings like a bastard. Tough, it's an express bus. If you knew exactly, and the thing is, the rule is, and this is the rule, not a lot of people know this, When people get on the front door of the express bus, the driver has to say what the bus is. So when I would drive that bus, I'd say, "Good morning, Express 68. Good morning, this is the Express 68. Good morning, Express 68." Let passengers know. There's no excuse for not letting your passengers know. They have to be aware of what bus they're on, because they might think it's a 468 for some reason. So I've actually been from West Norwood all the way down to Waterloo, and I've got there 25 minutes early. And that's okay because it's an express. Okay, so in that case, what you do is you push the announcement button of the PA system. Very good morning, everyone. This is the Express 68 to wherever it's going. This bus is currently running 25 minutes early due to a lack of traffic, and we've had a lot of good luck with the traffic lights this morning, which hopefully should give you a bit of extra time to grab a coffee before getting on your train to your various destinations. Thank you very much for having patience with me this morning, or whatever else you want to say. Have a wonderful day, and blah, 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 blah. Just talk it up, but just let people know they're running early on the express service, because they really do appreciate that, because a lot of them actually want to get a train to go somewhere else. And then from Waterloo up to Russell Square, I think it's Russell Square, it's in service as normal, front door, back door. And what can happen then is you can do the express service in reverse, which is from there back to Croydon again. Or you can do a double express. So you go from the same destination. So you'll go from Croydon down to Russell Square and then drive the entire route back out of service to Croydon, and then do the express route back again in the morning. And they only give you about 45 minutes to get there. Or, so, it all depends on what the thing is. But the express routes are quite good. I do miss that. Let's have a look. Okay, well, it looks like there's absolutely no chance of me getting a flat earther on this morning. 1 hour and 47 minutes nearly of doing this live. For any flat earther watching this, I have given you an opportunity to go live on here with me and tell me why you believe what you believe. Don't tell me I haven't given you an opportunity, because I'm looking at Twitter right now. Absolutely no direct messages to get you on this channel with me. Everyone's had an opportunity. It's been no problem. But this is what I'm going to do from now on. Apart from talking about other things, flat buses, that's funny. Apart from talking about other subjects, my main focus on a live at home now is to try and get a flat earther on board to talk to me about why you believe the earth is flat. I did have a comment on someone new called High Plains Drafter. So High Plains, if you watch this back at any point and you want to join me about your experience with a flat earther, please let me know. We can talk about it. This flat earth phenomenon is absolutely incredible, and I don't understand why it's so incredible. I don't get people's logic. So other than that, I'm going to go. I wish everyone has an absolutely fantastic Tuesday. As I said before, it is Star Wars Day, so may the 4th be with you. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, no matter where you are. Stay safe. Mwah.